And you know what is coming up? There's something special coming up this weekend. So definitely he is going to be diving into that. And you are welcome, Calvin. Kindly introduce yourself.
Okay. Sit on.
Yeah, it's it.
Good morning to our viewers. My name is Calvin Mwahuzi. I'm the Executive Director for Sounds of Silence Africa Initiative. And I'm here to talk about the dinner. Yes.
You are welcome so much.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So, Sounds of Silence. First of all, we are having a dinner coming up. But before we get into that, tell us what Sounds of Silence Africa Initiative is all about.
So, Sounds of Silence Africa Initiative entirely is an organization that advocates for the rights of the deaf. And we are into advocacy for the deaf community because we realized that people out there have disregarded the deaf. We realize that they have focused more on maybe the lame, maybe the blind, but the deaf, it's not easy to notice a person who is deaf.
Yes.
So entirely, most people presume that he can hear. When I find him seated somewhere, he can hear. But for us at Sounds of Silence, our founder is called Mr. Alex Ogwal. He became deaf at the age of 12 after taking quinine for medication in the early 2000s. So we realized that there was a problem and we needed to come in and be a solution and actually have an impact on the deaf community.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what we do.
Okay. So this is a question I definitely asked you off air, but I need you to tell us why Sounds of Silence.
As I was saying, Sounds of Silence, as people know, when a person is deaf, sometimes they don't speak. But there is more to the silence than just what we see. As I said, there is a communication. You have most people in day-to-day life say silence is the biggest statement you can make. So if you put it in that line, the deaf have a language, and that is sign language, using the hands. So they are not silenced. They are not silent. They make sounds using the hands. Yes. So they have a communication mode.
Okay, that's interesting. And so how long have you been in existence for?
We have been in existence for 2 years. We started in 2022. We are making 2 years this year, and we are glad that we have an impact to do on the deaf community. Yes.
Okay. So you have been in existence for 2 years. Of course, you have to tell us how the journey has been from the first year to now the second year. And you are definitely going through many years. So how has the journey been for the 2 years?
The journey has been amazing. As you know, organizations, there are also highs and lows. But I'll start with the lows. You could find that we have had challenges of funding. Most of us, actually, the organization has no foreign funders, so most of the things we do, we reach out to different people and they're able to support, just like how the dinner is coming up. Then you find that there are challenges. Most parents, the parents to the beneficiaries who are deaf, they don't really trust people who they don't know with their children. You find a person in the village who has a child who is deaf, but when you approach them and like, I'm coming from this organization, we are trying to make sure that your child goes to school, your child accesses medical care, they're like, maybe you're trying to exploit my child. So you find that there is that lack of trust when it comes to the people. But then with the highs, I really, really, really appreciate the work we have been doing, especially in Dera and especially in northern Uganda. We have impacted many. We have our beneficiaries, some of them are going to school. Our beneficiaries are able to get a meal a day. They are able to have skills. We have taught the parents that are beneficiaries sign language. We have taught community interpreters. We have programs that are running. I am actually proud of where we have been. So the 2 years have been tremendous. They have been both shaky, but it's amazing.
That's quite interesting. Now, are you just in the Lango region, or are you spread further than that?
We realize that urban centers have organizations that actually are looking out for the people who are disabled. We want to get into the urban centers, but for now we want to concentrate on the northern region. Because you find in the northern region, the people actually there are not getting services because most of them are in remote areas. Most of them are not in urban centers. So we have decided to invest more in people who are up country so that we can be able to take the services to them, educate our children, access them to medical care, give them a livelihood that is adorable by each and every student and each and every child, because our beneficiaries are between the age of 4 and the age of 30, so those are youth entirely, children and youth. So we want to see a better life for these people. That's why we started with Northern Uganda, especially Lango sub-region. We shall keep growing, but entirely it's an organization for the nation. So we have everybody on board. We have beneficiaries in Mukono, we have beneficiaries in Luwero, so we are diverse. But as per now, we are trying to invest more in Northern Uganda.
Okay. So are you working with maybe any other organization? You said that some are being educated. Are you working with some other sort of organization to make sure that this actually happens for them?
Yes, we have schools on board that are willing, because we have a program called inclusive education. Normally they are schools for the deaf, but under inclusive education we want to try a different model. How about we put the deaf in schools that are actually not for the deaf? One of our members is called Odong Joel. He went to Maryland High School. Maryland High School is not for the deaf. He had an interpreter, but then he was in the school. So you find that he made connections, he was lively. There was no difference between him and other students. So this is what we're trying to do. So we are not actually taking the students to deaf schools only. We are reaching out to other schools. Can you come on board? Can you raise these people? Because these are the leaders of tomorrow. These are the people who are going to impact the future. As we leave, we are leaving a legacy for them to come. So we are not supposed to discriminate them on how they speak, on how they hear, on how they relate. So we have different people on board. But as I said, we have the dinner coming up and we shall introduce all these things to the people.
Okay. Now, since we have a dinner coming up, tell us more about the dinner.
So now the silent dinner falls under our program. The organization has four programs: sign language for all, inclusive education, community inclusion, and food and nutrition. So under sign language for all, we organize a silent dinner. This silent dinner is to show the people out there what the deaf can be able to do. We show the people out there that the deaf can do more. It's not only about fundraising to make sure that the advocacy goes on and the organization pushes on, but it's also a platform we give to the deaf to come and exhibit their talents. Under Sign Language for All, we're building an application called Deaf Assist, and it has been built by the deaf who are good in ICT. We are bringing them on board to show the people what they can do. So the silent dinner entirely is to give a platform for the deaf community to exhibit what they can do, to show their possibilities, to show their strength, and also to be able to add a milestone on to the growth of the economy of Uganda.
Okay, that's interesting. So what activities will be there? They are going to showcase?
Yes, the activities of the dinner, we have the first 2 hours. It's completely an experience of silence. We're going to be using sign language. We have a cohort that is graduating for sign language, and we are going to have some of the activities in sign language the first 2 hours. We entirely want to relate to these people. We also want to give the people who haven't learned sign language
exactly. That was my next question. Now, if I come to the dinner and I do not know sign language, how will that work out for me?
We want to give you a feeling of I need to learn this language, because if you know, when you go to an area now, people who have gone abroad to study, like in German and in places where you're supposed to mandatorily start the language. This is what you want to tell the people, that this is not just an option, this is a necessity. If media houses are choosing people to be interpreting, you know, you also need to learn this language. Just like you're taking the school to learn English, this is the language you need to learn. So we are taking those 2 hours to make the people have the desire of learning sign language. So give them the experience of what the deaf go through, but then also the urge of saying, next time I also need to understand what they're saying. So those are the first 2 hours. The other 2 hours, we have the speeches and the reports, but then we have the fundraising that will go for the last 1 hour with our chief fundraiser who will be around. So the dinner entirely is relating with people, socializing with people, getting to know the deaf community. People are going to interact with our beneficiaries. They're going to tell them stories of how far we have come and where we are now and where we're going. So it's going to be a nice experience. It's going to be amazing to know that the young people out there are yearning to have an impact on the people.
Okay, so you have to tell us when the dinner is, the date, where, what time. Yes.
So the date is 8th, and this Sunday. It will be at 3 p.m. at Hotel Africana. We are waiting for you. The ticket goes for 150,000. The table is 1.5 million for 7 people. We are not actually just looking at the money for us. We are looking at the long-lasting impact we're going to have, because if this is the second edition, we had the first edition last year, this is the second edition, we're going to keep having more, but the more we have more, the more you get to realize that there is a gold mine in the deaf community. We need to utilize it. Yes.
Okay, now I need you to give what do you tell the people out there, especially people who have maybe deaf relatives or friends? Just talk to the people and tell them, most of the people, actually, most of the communities, should I say stigmatize? Sometimes they stigmatize because they feel like this person, So of course we need to always sensitize people that being deaf is not a bad thing. These are people that you can actually live with. So what can you tell the people out there?
We are in the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. We have been in different seminars and people are not actually talking about the deaf. And gender-based violence can occur to anybody. So I want to tell the people out there, protect these people. When a child is deaf, it doesn't mean the world has ended. The world continues. Just like anybody else gets a sickness and they're like, I'll go for treatment. Being deaf is not as bad as death. You can learn to cope with it. We are glad that now quinine has faded out, but there are still other medical challenges around deafness. The noise in cities, the long hours, especially for the people who are interpreters and have those headsets in them all the time. We are encouraging also employers to be cautious. When a person is having that kind of work, let them rest for around 2 hours. These are the things we are advocating for. So for the parents out there, for the deaf, you have a community that is making sure that your child is safe, that is making sure that your child accesses education. Partner with us, love your children. We are teaching the parents that these children can be whatever they want to be. It doesn't stop here. It doesn't end here. The journey still continues. So don't neglect them, don't leave them out, support them, love them. And in case of anything, as Sounds of Silence, we're here. We're here to support you, we're here to guide you, the counseling, everything you need. We are on board.
Also, I want you to speak to the teachers out there as well.
Now, I think I'll not preempt, but we are trying to liaise with the Ministry of Education to see how we can train teachers and schools to have sign language. And the application we're also doing is going to have people are going to be able to access sign language interpreters online. You log into the application and you, like how Safe Border works, you log onto the application and somebody sees your request and they get online and help you. You use sign language for them, they actually speak on your behalf. Yes. So what I'm going to tell the teachers is these are students like any other. These are children like any other. They want to learn, they want to study, they're excited to know that they're also in school. Love them, don't actually segregate them, and give them time. When they don't understand something, take the time to actually teach them, take the time to actually show them that they are capable of each and everything they want to be.
Okay, any last words for everyone out there?
We are in a season of Christmas. I pray we all keep safe. Families out there, let's keep praying. This is Family TV. I believe we are on principles of Christianity.
Yes, very much.
We keep praying for each other, and we always invest in our mental health. Let's try to talk to each other. Leave the phones once in a while and talk to people.
Very true.
It's interesting. In our old days, people actually used to talk to one another more than be on phone. So I remember one time in around early 2000s, my uncle had to travel from Fort Portal to come to Kampala to give my mom 80,000. There were no phones. Wow. And what? The people who had phones were few. So we need that kind of connection back. We need to talk to each other. We need to love each other. We need to do more for each other. Yes. So thank you so much, and let's love one another.
Do you know sign language?
Sign language. I'm actually a student.
Oh,
I'm a student.
You know, I actually wanted to sign out by, but now if you can.
But though this means I love you.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Means I love you. So.
Okay, but thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for hosting me.
Telling us what we need to do as people. You know how we also need to treat our fellow loved ones, because we are one. Basically. And of course, we cannot wait for the dinner. Remember, the dinner is on 8th of December, this Sunday, right?
Sunday, yeah.
And it will be at Hotel Africana from 3 p.m. onwards. So in case you want to attend, definitely you are welcome. A ticket is
150,000 and the table is 1.5 million for 7 people.
So you have it there, you have the information. If you are interested, please kindly make sure that you definitely attend the dinner. It will be at Hotel Africana from 3 p.m. and get to interact. And you also have an opportunity to learn sign language in case you're interested. Go there, that's the right place. But yes, this brings us to the end of Good Morning Family. Like I always say, it's a pleasure to be here with you every morning from 7 to 9 a.m. from Monday to Friday. I am Hope Ningereza, and I guess it's time for me to say goodbye. I will see you in the evening. Have a good day.